5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello!
Hello!
We're live! I made it home! Sorry about that delay, everybody. I live in San Francisco, and my bus driver was new, and being a new bus driver in San Francisco must be a special kind of hell. So, send your best wishes his way tonight, and welcome to Eye on the Storm!
Welcome! I am Gillyweed. You might know me from my StarCraft content, but lately I've been streaming a lot of heroes. This is also my friend, a fairy dragon that I named Brightwing.
You named it Brightwing?
I named it Brightwing.
Yeah.
They're friends.
And I am Anna Prosser Robinson. I am Gilly's co-host. You may know me also from StarCraft originally, but all sorts of heroes things lately. Most recently at BlizzCon, I was the host for the Heroes of the Storm stage, which was awesome. And I'm also a part of this wonderful place called Misscliks. One of the co-founders, we made this community and this website to try to uplift and provide support and exposure for female role models in geeky gaming culture, with the goal of someday hopefully making that a totally unnecessary task where we have just equality and support and positivity for all on the interwebs. And this show is part of that. Eye on the Storm, as you can see, broadcasts on Misscliks, and it is a show all about Heroes of the Storm.
That's right. Anna and I came together. We wanted to have study sessions so that we could eventually get to the point where we could cast Heroes games, because we love this game so much and we've always shared a passion for learning how to cast. And so it started out as study sessions, but then we thought, there are a lot of people who aren't into this game yet who would maybe benefit, or even if they are into it but new, who'd benefit from being able to check out a storm or a show where we could all learn together. And so that's where the development of this came from. And we started out from learning. We're continuing to learn. We have guests every week. And then, eventually we want to get to the point where we're also following the development of the competitive scene in the meta as well.
Absolutely. So normally what you'll see on our show is some guests. You'll see us have a topic for the week, usually a map that we go in deep on or some aspect of the meta. We'll have one spotlight for a character, maybe a build that you can emulate. We'll also have a weekly Q&A. That used to be our quiz, but it's turned into a just ask us anything, ask our guests anything. If you want to prepare for that anytime throughout the show, please tweet with the hashtag StormShow, and we may feature your question on the show, so be thinking about that the entire time. We also do a community spotlight to let you know some awesome things that are going on in the community, and then we usually have a play or casting session at the end to kind of show you what it all looks like in game. But this week we have so much to talk about that we won't have a play session, but to make up for it, we have 2 guests this week to talk about BlizzCon and all the amazing things that happened from it. And so, without further ado, we would love to introduce those guests to you. Guys, can you say hi to our viewers?
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Bonjour.
Hi, I'm Tim Trikslyr.
And
CM.
I am the train that dunks everyone left and right. Hashtag choo-choo.
I did not have the overlay wrong, by the way. They are
No,
trolling.
they're trolling you.
Yeah.
Yes, but Dunk, tell us a little bit about your ascent to mega stardom as an esports legend on Team
Could you tell me a little bit about how that goes? 'Cause that'd be really cool.
Actually, DunkTrain, you were our first community spotlight on this show. Did you know
You
that?
were.
I remember that. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Highlight, if I remember correctly, at a night camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. All the coins everywhere on Blackhearts.
All the
Yeah.
coins.
Yes.
Yeah. That was pretty awesome, guys. Anyway, for those of you who don't know me, I'm DunkTrain. I stream a lot of Heroes. I've been playing Heroes since the first phase of the alpha. Just trying my best to be the best player that I can. When I stream, I try to teach people, and just ended up on a team with Sheth and Team Liquid, and it's a fantastic experience at BlizzCon and stuff. So happy.
Awesome. And what about you, Tim? What do you do?
Well, I am one of the community managers for Heroes of the Storm. So right now I kind of float around, help get things uploaded to YouTube and post on Reddit and Twitter and all that fun stuff. And of course, just make sure that everyone at home is enjoying Heroes of the Storm. So pretty easy/fun job, and really just can't wait to be on the show and talk about BlizzCon, man, because BlizzCon was exciting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Yeah, you were
And
one of the casters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somehow that happened. And yeah, that was a ton of fun. Did it along with my good friend Kevin Johnson here, who works at the office as well. And, we made sure to try and work really hard and bring Heroes of Storm to not only the new guys, but also to make sure that all the people that have been in the alpha enjoy the casting as well. And I think overall it went pretty well. And I'm glad it's kind of over with, so we can start passing the reins over to more community guys that are actually definitely working on coming up, because a lot of people are starting to cast this game like crazy, and they are awesome. So I can't wait to see them get more on the mic and more tournaments to pop up, and of course just more fun stuff overall as the game slowly moves to closed beta.
There was a huge crowd at BlizzCon as well, and we want to actually first start off with a recap. So thank you guys, first of all, for being on our show. And maybe before we talk about the things happening on BlizzCon, we also wanted to thank everyone who was able to come to the Heroes Hype and Eye on the Storm meetup that we hosted. There were a ton of people there. It was amazing. I was totally blown away by the number of people who came by and just said hi and talked about how much they love Heroes and love playing Heroes or can't wait to play Heroes, and I thought that was amazing.
I was blown away by how many people showed up. We filled up the Marriott lobby.
Thanks to you guys for putting that on, because there was a lot of people that I hadn't quite met yet that actually came to that event, and so it was great just to have everyone in one centralized location and everyone just meet up and greet and of course put faces with names. So thanks to you guys for putting that on, and Miss Honey, I believe.
Miss
helped
Honey
organize
from
that
the
too.
Hype newsletter.
Yes. Love you, Miss Honey.
Yeah.
It was incredible meeting people too that you just know from online. Like, I've known these people for months in the alpha, and meeting them online is such a fantastic experience.
Yeah, isn't that a trip? Like, you know them from their Twitter photo or something, and then you see them in real life, and it looks
like
totally,
you are a person.
Yeah, you're moving. You're like three-dimensional.
Yeah, you're a real human. That's incredible.
Yeah, and this is the photo that well, the group photo we took where not everyone is pictured, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because people came and went and were busy talking and drinking and having a great time. But that's just a few of us who are still there at the moment where I herded everybody into a corner and made them take a picture.
Yeah, kudos for that. Yeah, getting people into a corner to take a picture is actually insanely hard, but wow, well done, man. Well done.
Thank you.
It was funny, she was like, okay, all the tallest people here, all of the next tallest people here, and sort of like slightly squat. It was great considering the number of rows we had, that it still worked out the way it did.
Well, I used to live in a pro gaming house, in a pro gaming a training facility for pro gamers, so my herding skills are high. I'm really good at that.
Nice.
Yeah, so thank you everyone who came out, and please give your love and support to the Heroes Hype newsletter for Miss Honey, because JC and I helped a lot with the coordination, but she was definitely the one who came up with the idea, so really want to encourage you guys to subscribe to that newsletter as well, because it's the best way that I have found to kind of stay abreast of everything that's going on in the community, because even though we're in alpha, there's already so much to keep up with.
Yeah, for sure. It's such a high quality newsletter. Besides the fact that Miss Honey's amazing and was a guest on our show, that newsletter is amazing, and it's definitely one way that I use to keep up with everything in the community.
Absolutely. So let's talk more about what actually happened at BlizzCon, aside from our meetup. First, of course, something I was really excited about is we had all sorts of Heroes Exhibition action going on, and I was working with both of these guys, both with Tim and Derek, at the Heroes of the Storm stage. JC, how much of that did you get to see as a con goer?
Well, you know, I was working quite a bit, so because it started a little bit late, the WoW stuff was running a little bit late on the first day. I watched at least the exhibition, the Brawl, because I had helped coach Team Rocket Jump a little bit, and so I was working, but I had it up on stream, and so that was good. But then I was there for all of it the second day, and the stage was great. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I have a picture here of Team Rocket Jump, who was part of the Celebrity BlizzCon Brawl.
They were a blast.
They were so funny.
They were hysterical, and they really came, and you could tell they were just having fun with the game. Like, who cares about the results? Overall, like, what it came down to is, like, just watching them after a game, being excited, dancing around, just being a complete blast to be around. It's something that we want to be a part of, and it was just great that they actually came out and just had fun. Man, they were great.
What I liked about that Brawl 2 was the second map, I think, was the new one that we're going to talk about, Sky Temple, which I thought was cool. Just, like, throw that in a little bit. And then I think in the third game, the other team actually brought out a Thrall. So we were actually getting to see some of the new stuff as well, which obviously you're not really going to get to see that in the exhibitions, the tournament part as much, because everyone is, you know, wanting to do the tried and true stuff and make sure that everything's fair. But I thought that it was cool that at least in that Brawl, we actually got to see a little bit of the new stuff come out. I was excited about that.
Yeah,
that was Yeah, it was definitely our opportunity to show off the new stuff, Sky Temple,
Yeah.
Thaw, and all that. Because again, the actual players that played in the competitive exhibition match didn't have access to that. So poor
Yeah,
DunkTrain
what's
couldn't
with
pull
that,
out
Tim?
Dana. Sorry,
Play
man.
on Sky Temple,
Couldn't have you. I
buddy.
couldn't have you be feeding, man, like left and right.
Yeah.
I gotta hold you back.
Yeah.
Did DunkTrain? Did you get to watch that BlizzCon brawl at all?
I got to step out and like look at the stage and stuff while they were playing. I saw they were on Sky Temple, and I immediately went and complained that we didn't get to play on Sky Temple. I didn't actually get to catch any. We were busy practicing because that was moments before we got on stage. So we were doing hand warm-ups and stuff.
Mm-hmm. You didn't. I mean, would you actually have wanted that to be an option for you guys to use that
Yeah,
map?
that's what I want to know.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if we would have picked it. I would though. Like, let's say I was 100%. Like, I would have picked it because I would have loved to do something like that. Like, I would have said, throw all the new heroes in there. Let's just go. Like, just go
DunkTrain likes
ham.
that
Who
YOLO
knows?
lifestyle.
Who would have to play
Yeah.
the Lost Vikings?
I wouldn't do that. Well, Shet actually could probably play Lost Vikings like a god because he's a StarCraft player.
Yeah,
Just like
seriously.
micro all
Lots of
three.
lots of micro.
Yeah, win 1v1s in all the lanes at the same time. Like
Yeah.
a legend. That
Well,
would have been cool.
we'll get to talking a little bit more about Lost Vikings soon, but just to
Yes.
recap the BlizzCon Brawl a little bit, the team Low Expectations, as they were called, actually ended up beating Team Rocket Jump pretty solidly. Husky was on their team. You may know him if you kind of followed us from StarCraft. You may know Husky StarCraft, who was part of that team, and I guess they had a lot of practice under their belt. Team Rocket Jump gave me the impression that they had only been able to practice about 3 days, and that 3
Yeah.
days ago was when they called me and Gilly and were like, "Can you guys help us?" Okay. But I mean, overall, I felt like the win was that they didn't look like they had no idea what they were doing. They put up some good, solid gameplay. They got beat, but they didn't look laughable, except when they were making us laugh. You know.
Jesse Cox, man, with the plays, bringing the
Yeah.
divine
Oh,
storm
his
from
user,
Uther, left
his
and right.
user was good.
Like, you could tell Rocket Jump's game plan was, all right, guys, stay together. We're going to take him out. And that just doesn't work against so well
No.
when an Uther walks up and divine storms you. But still, they were fun matches. Like, I had a blast. And I'm sure those guys did too. They walked away and they just wanted to play more too. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they came out. I really am.
Yeah, they really made that fun. Their dancing on camera and roboting was pretty epic. It was a lot of fun.
Well, and then we transitioned into an esports show match where we actually had some people from the esports scene, and you guys can see, obviously, here's Trikslyr getting his mad casting skills on alongside Cloakin. They were a fantastic team, and I actually learned a ton from you guys. I was really watching you guys to learn from you as people who are so close to the game and who are casting the game, because that was really valuable for me as somebody who hopes to cast in the future.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, we really wanted to hopefully give some knowledge from being close to the game and really just like help out with like teaching new people. And then of course it's good to like maybe set a way for casting heroes to come in, because like when it comes to heroes, like there's so much action going on. I don't know if like the style that you see in StarCraft, for instance, or Hearthstone even fits into heroes. So we put a lot of inspiration from like football and stuff.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. That was so
yeah.
cool.
We spent like 3 or 4 weeks just like trying different styles out and trying to find a way to like present heroes in a pretty solid light. So maybe that's a way that it could work out, maybe not, but I just hope that we kind of contribute to people in the future. And I'm glad that it was like that's all it came down to. It's good to actually see that people actually enjoyed the casting overall, because we were a little bit on the afraid side that we were taking in a different direction. But overall, man, it was just fun. It was a blast, and glad that you guys allowed us to have the opportunity and the community was okay with it.
What kind of things did you take from football? Because I know you told me a little bit about
Yeah.
it, but...
So whenever you watch football, you'll watch, say, like John Madden, because it's just like the guy that everybody knows. They don't go through every single move that's happening, because there's 22 players on the field. So you have the tight end over here on the right side. He's getting ready to move around this guy. And then we have the defensive lineman running into this area. And then all of a sudden the offensive blocks that guy. Oh, no, there's a throw over here. And you have all this stuff that you're like yelling out if you were to go that route. When it comes to football, it's, all right, there's a hike. There goes the ball. It's thrown across. Someone's caught it. There's 25, the 20, 15. They got a touchdown. Like, it's very slow. It's very methodical, and it's informational, and it's kind of just what's in your face. And then afterwards, they bring in like the analytical. Here's a quick idea. Here's a person that you should have looked at in that replay. And so we try to like kind of like mock that a little bit, and then after a fight would happen to say, here's a one important thing that you should have seen in that fight that we didn't get to talk about. And so we'll maybe something like, look out for Sheth in the next fight. He had an amazing cleanse in his fight. Or watch out for DunkTrain. He killed off 2 people overall, so watch for him to repeat that in the next fight. So there were a lot of things that we tried to focus on and make sure that was very small, but things that were big overall, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
for
interesting,
sure.
actually. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. We like tried the approach at first where we just casted everything, and like we had a lot of people internally that were like, "Dude, you guys are talking way too fast. I can't follow you guys."
And especially where so many people were new to the game or hadn't really even played the game before, but
Yeah.
were just there to watch because they were there maybe for a while and were like, oh, well, the Heroes finals are going on right now. Let's watch it. So I thought you guys did a really good job too. Between your casting and the use of the videos to showcase the maps, I thought that you did a really good job of integrating a sort of approach for new players and new people as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we totally wanted to make sure that we taught people as much as we could about the game, because again, the tech alpha, there's only a small amount of people in the game right now, and it's very hard to follow these type of games if you don't know what's going on. So again, very important for us to just try to teach the game at a very small minute level so people could understand it going into it. So I don't know, I feel like that's a bit on like casting overall, but again, great opportunity, and I hope a lot of people learn from it.
Well, yeah, and we learned a ton, too, because we got to see some of the pros take on, the first really competitive tournament show match that we've ever had in Heroes of the Storm that was officially put on by Blizzard. And DunkTrain, you were part of that with Team Liquid. What were your impressions?
Oh my god, my impressions were just mind-blowingly awesome. When you go up there and like you see the stage and stuff, it's kind of akin to, as a player who's like a person who's followed esports for a long time, like really enjoys esports, when you watch a tournament online or something, like it's fun, you get to watch this tournament, you like personalize with the casters and stuff, like that's a good time, but the energy level is so different when you're in the venue, sitting in the audience, getting hyped, people are yelling, screaming, clapping, like all that stuff, and it's that level of step up to get to be a player. I'm not kidding. It was the most mind-blowingly intense, awesome experience of my life, honestly, just to get up on that stage and feel that energy. It was incredible. Honestly, big props to the guys who made the stage. The stage looks sick, and
oh my gosh,
I'm so happy to have had that experience. Honestly, it was incredible.
The stage,
the nerves too.
It was funny because I walked up and I saw the stage, and I was like, "This is the best esports stage I've ever seen. This is like, there's LCD panels everywhere, and they move on these sliders, and then blah blah blah." And then
you saw the StarCraft one,
and then you went to the StarCraft area. Yeah.
So it was.
I mean, the Heroes one was awesome, but that's StarCraft stage. Yeah, I mean the Hearthstone one too. They were all amazing.
I know. I've never seen stages like that, and I was just telling someone that it had never occurred to me until going to BlizzCon that we have treated esports stages all wrong. Like we've done it all wrong. They've been like concert stages or like, sports stages, I guess. But video games are so different than that. They have story, they have theme, they have art incorporated in each one. And so this was the first time at BlizzCon where I had seen that, and I totally agree, DunkTrain. I felt like I had so much hype I had to rest during the day at BlizzCon.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
But in case you guys...
Lots of adrenaline.
Yeah, in case you guys didn't see the show matches, we had Team Evil Geniuses, as well as Team Liquid, Fnatic, and Cloud9. Cloud9 eventually came out on top, beating Evil Geniuses in the finals. But, DunkTrain, how did you feel like the matches went overall for Team Liquid and in general for the pro scene?
Starting with our matches, I think Game 1 was a really good match back and forth. I think both teams did interesting things there, and there was some really good execution, some really bad execution, and it was really fun to watch. I hope Game 1 at least. Game 2, I felt was a little one-sided of our series, and that's unfortunate, but it happens on LAN events. Like, sometimes crazy things happen. Overall, I thought the event was really cool to watch the way the different teams evaluated certain heroes and stuff, and then to watch them play it out, the different strategies they entailed. It was really fun for me to watch too, because it was the first time seeing heroes on such a big stage, and people play way different when they're on a big stage. So it was interesting to see how the playstyle you're used to online, that it changes a little when you go to a stage, and that's something that you're familiar with if you followed other esports where, online people always talk about on teams for every game. It's like, oh, any team can probably take a game off any team online because you're willing to do way more risky stuff and do crazy things, but then on the stage, man, the game gets way different. So it was really cool to see the adaptation of strategies, and people, for example, were like almost entirely only willing to pick really comfort picks. Nobody tried anything really crazy, although we did see some Illidones come out, as Sina likes to call them, and the Illidons were cute and fun, but
they were amazing. That's
everybody in the audience probably knows everything about Illidan now that Tim got to cast a game within it. I can't imagine.
I
Yeah, it was
dreamed about
fantastic.
Illidan the night between the two matches. So you must have
Oh,
like.
wait, you
Anna
walk
knows.
in and that
Anna
giant statue's right there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen, right?
I think
had
that Tim was
nightmares,
just
so-
subconsciously whispering like Illidan, Illidan.
No, you can
Yeah.
ask Dunk. So who's pulling out the Illidan this weekend? Who's doing it?
Not us. We should have though, apparently.
It's funny. I walked up to Greg and I was like, Greg, so I heard you're gonna pick Illidan, and he just looked at me and he goes, nope, and then walks away. Like, didn't even humor me in any way, shape, or form. And I'm like, oh man. It's okay.
Idra is not
Okay.
one to humor you.
No jokes.
Not cool enough for that, Tim. Not yet.
Were you
One
guys
day, man. One
were
day.
you guys surprised by, or did you expect the outcome that we saw in terms of Cloud9 winning?
I was not as surprised as I think some people were. A lot of people going in just entirely disregarded them, but I think that's a mistake given that they were the only team to have 5 players who all had LAN experience on a MOBA game, and I don't think that can be understated. Kevin Shemtu was saying that too. Like, I think online, the team doesn't perform that well. C9, I'm talking about that roster. Like, they weren't that impressive online. They didn't put that much time in, but just having the experience of a LAN environment and having the time to prepare and stuff, it changes the team dynamics because that team has played LAN events for MOBAs. They know how to prepare for specific teams. They know how to prepare strategies. They know how to prepare map picks. And our team, I mean, we tried to prepare. We put a lot of time in. We wanted to be the best we possibly could, but not having that experience of knowing how to prepare yourself. It's like if you're a student in school and you don't know how to study, you can spend a lot of time, but maybe you don't turn into the absolute best. You know, you don't get 100 on the exam because you don't know how to study. That's just a skill you have to learn, and that's something that you can only learn by going to LAN events and trying to be the best that way. And it's just, I mean, it was an advantage they had, and it was enough, apparently, just barely.
Yeah. It's like the home field advantage, I guess, or, you know, the reason that you have, say, a dress rehearsal. Like, I guess I would relate it to dance. I used to do competitive dance, and that's why if you're going to a competition where you've never danced on that stage before, you might fall, you might need to shorten your steps, you know, those kinds of things. And people don't think about that with esports because you're just behind a computer screen, but, you know, your mental being, and this is, I've never been a pro player, but I've been around it a lot, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like your mental state is so, not necessarily delicate, but specific, that you need to be sure to replicate as much as you can.
Yeah, like, we got to go up on stage the day before, well, so we could set up our, you know, like, sitting area. We could, like, figure out how high we wanted the chairs, where you want to sit your desk, where your mouse pad, and all that. And that's really important because you need your mind to be in the same place so you can play the way you're used to. And just having that experience of going to LANs and stuff, I can't express. I mean, it's so different when you're playing there. You're just so much energy, and it's just difficult. It's just difficult. It was really fun though.
It has been a while since I watched players who have never been to a LAN before, and I know there were quite a few players on teams that, I mean, like, who was it? Keelax had never even been on a plane before BlizzCon.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that played into it, and I think you could see a little bit of a difference in their play from when we watched them on, say, like, Heroes Premier League or something like that.
Yeah. I think that's 100% true. I think if all of those teams sit at home in their basement, all the lights off, and get to play how they normally play, I know. I mean, I play. You know what the secret actually was? I think it was the basketball shorts. You know, I had jeans on. I just wasn't relaxed enough. I'd slammed out some basketball shorts barefoot on that stage. We would have seen a big difference.
I have known some pro players who do things like take off their shoes or like things to replicate how they play at home and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's all about comfort.
Quite a few StarCraft players do that, yeah. Or like Hyun has his pants that he always plays in. He's got like specific, they're like hammer pants almost.
Really?
They're like pajama pant type. Yeah. Yeah, they've actually since then made like a t-shirt that's got Hyun pants on it. Because he always wears these like crazy pants when he plays. He was #1 in points for like most of WCS, I think, so.
Dude, anything that can like establish your confidence in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I know with like, we did little like voice acting lessons up in SF, and like one thing that she taught us before we even like started talking, which is like walk into the room and touch everything in the room and make it your own, because like that's the best way to ever approach anything. Once you're like confident and you're good to go and you believe you own the area, you'll play the way that you want to be. And yeah, you can totally see it with some of the teams there. Just they weren't quite ready to be in a different area, a little bit thrown off, and again, you kind of saw it in their play a little bit. But Cloud9 came in like. Whenever they played, everything they did was as a team, and they all in on it every single time. Like, there was no doubt between each other. Doubt will be the one thing that will make teams kind of fall apart a little bit. whether it be a decision, like even if it's a decision where like, hey, we should go do this, and someone says, no, I don't know about that. Like that 2 to 3 seconds, like that small gap window is enough to lose your game.
Yeah.
And we kind of saw that. So it's definitely all about confidence, man.
I know we have a ton to cover, but that's the last question I did want to ask you, Tim, as somebody who was kind of watching all the games from this like wide view. What would you say was the determining factor that kind of made Cloud9 come out on top? Was it that super fast decision making? And if so, is that something that people should take away from this, that like that's going to be the most important thing in competitive play right now?
I really think it was just a mental aspect for that. I feel like all the teams there, for the most part, if they were to hit each other on ladders, they could take game from each other all day. I know there was some rumors about like Fnatic took like 6 or 7 games in a row against EG in the back room when they were all playing. But when actually they came out to the stage or whatever, they were just a little bit off when it came to their play. They weren't as together. I saw Naniwa, for instance, he was chasing down LZ Gamer's Abathur the entire game, one game, which allows for Abathur to excel in that type of situation. So little things like that could really throw you off. But I don't know, man. Cloud9, they were just loose as a goose, man. They were confident, they were excited, they were walking around, they were having fun, they were dancing on stage, and that kind of like team mentality is something that Team Liquid is actually really known for online. I didn't really get to see you guys too much off the actual or on the mic or anything because I mean I was on the other side of the map or whatever. But when it came down to playstyle, I don't know if you guys were as loose as you normally are online, and I feel like you guys were maybe a little bit more in your shell or out of your shell or your element a little bit compared to what Cloud9 was. It was just enough for them to barely get ahead. But, you know, with that in mind, like, you guys have experience now. Like, you've been on stage. Like, if you guys go to an event again, like, you could totally recall upon that. Like, guys, let's take a breather. Let's go into this. Let's be ourselves and let's just have fun.
Something I also noticed about Cloud9 is they were so decisive in their decision making. Strange to say, but like when they were playing with Abathur, I don't know if I ever saw them do team fights without that ultimate evolution. And I thought that they were always just taking engagements perfectly when they wanted to and on their terms. And I think that that's definitely something to consider as well for why they walked away at the victors as well.
Definitely.
But overall, like, even if they did walk away as victors, like there were a lot of positives from the other teams. Like, it was fantastic to see EG come out and win a few games. It was awesome to see Fnatic, a team that like had only 6 days together, to come out so aggressively and really just kind of be in the face of EG. Grant, they wound up falling eventually, but it was cool to see like these teams were actually pretty close in skill, and they were pretty close games overall. It was just a matter of just like when it came down to the last couple of seconds, Cloud9 was able to kind of take it away from everyone. But I don't know. It was fun to watch, man. Like, I was just hyped the entire week and just watching those matches. Like, they were so cool to see. And I mean, thank you, Team Liquid, DunkTrain, and the other teams that were there that came out and played for us. Because, oh my gosh, it was such a blast.
Yeah.
Well, aside from the... are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Then?
Yes.
Okay.
We could talk about that all night, but yeah, we have lots to talk about.
Aside from the show matches, we also had a couple of panels about heroes as well. The main one that I was able to go to talked about, for one, the closed beta announced. You guys have been asking for it, asking what's going to happen. It's happening January 13th, 2015. And for your information, guys, if you had the virtual ticket for BlizzCon, you can still catch the in-depth panel as well. So all of the stuff that we'll be going over today, they talked about in there as well.
Can I recommend, if you watch one, at least watch The Sound of the Nexus?
Oh my god, that one was so good. When he started putting
amazing.
together the main song,
Did you
and
get like the chills? You're like,
man.
oh my gosh.
So I'm in the press room waiting for an interview, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and I'm so into it that when they finish, I'm just like, yeah, cheering, and people start looking at me, and I'm like, it was good though, right? I mean, did you guys hear that? Like,
what was
really
that
good.
one? Because I missed it totally.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch
So
anything.
essentially, they were just going over like the sounds of Nexus and how you like evoke emotion and how you create atmosphere. And then halfway through, they decided to deconstruct and reconstruct the entire Heroes theme song that you hear.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. And then they played with it live afterward. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of you.
It was very, very cool. Like, this guy sits down at a piano, and I forget his name, and I feel bad for this because he's an absolute legend, and literally just built piece by piece by piece the entire song, and he put layer over layer over layer over layer over layer over layer, and it just came together over like what 15-20 minutes.
Yeah,
and it's just like absolutely beautiful watching him build this thing, and it's like, man, that's a theme song, and I didn't realize it was like that complex. Like, It was really, really cool to watch. So
It was so cool. And somebody else was with him playing guitar. He was just like riffing and rocking out to it too. It was, I embarrassed myself a little bit cheering in the press room where everyone's like hard at work editing and stuff. And I'm just like, this is so good.
nah, I don't feel bad. You just gotta nerd out sometimes, and that was definitely one of those things that you gotta nerd out on. It was
I did.
very cool.
I think that was the
I wish
theme
I'd
of this
seen
BlizzCon for me, was nerding out to the point of embarrassing myself. Like I will admit I cried multiple times at this BlizzCon, and not for normal reasons, but for like reasons of I am so hype about this that tears are coming out of my eyes, and gaming
Yeah.
means so much to me, and I'm so happy to be part of this community that I'm just gonna cry about it.
That almost happened to me in the opening ceremony.
Yes,
like
that's what it
That
was.
did happen to me with
Yeah.
Legacy of the Storm, that trailer. I was just
Yeah.
like,
the trailer after trailer after trailer, and I was like,
yeah.
the atmosphere building up, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I getting old? I'm gonna start crying. Like I've never cried
Yeah.
for anything. Like I remember like pushing my eyeballs in because like I didn't want to like have tears come out. But
Nice.
yeah, it was a very a lifting experience for sure, and I can't wait till the next BlizzCon.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
see the
For sure.
presenters even had tears in their eyes, and like the hands were shaking. It was just a very emotional BlizzCon. But anyways, back. See, we can just rant about this all day.
Let's just
Back
cry
to-
right
yeah.
now. Let's just-
I just love Blizzard games. So anyway, yeah, catch those panels if you have a virtual ticket. If not, I'm sorry. We'll try to tell you as much as we can about what was in them. But the next big announcement, again, the closed beta is coming January 13th, and also ranked play and draft mode are coming.
Yes.
Yay!
Thank God.
Thank God.
Oh man, I'm so excited about finally
So-
playing a draft mode.
Yeah, there's
What-
going to be two parts of ranked play. Yeah, so there'll be solo and Hero League and Team League. So Team League will be where you have all 5 people together, and you can actually do up to a certain number, correct?
Yeah, I believe you have with 9 people on the team.
Right, and then you'll actually have like a team name, and you'll get ranked all together. And then Hero League, you can play however many people, and you're ranked individually. I believe that's how it's going to work. And with both of those, there'll be a draft mode where you'll actually do picks, but no bans. And I know there's been a lot of contention about that, so I wanted to see.
Oh,
What
still
you
no
guys-
bans in draft mode? I missed that. Interesting.
Yeah, supposedly.
No bans as of this time. Something that was definitely talked about quite a bit at the panel, and there were some questions about how, if you've got that one hero who comes out and is just completely like, a lot of times when they first come out, they're a little bit unbalanced, maybe a little bit OP.
Just a little.
Talking about how you're going to keep those balanced, and I think the thought was, well, maybe we can just keep them from being able to put into ranked play until we've got them completely balanced. Just, there's a lot of talk about the no ban system. Thoughts on that? I wanted to get your thoughts.
For me,
Dunk, you go first. Yeah.
all right. So, I think we should talk about the draft without bans from both a solo player and like a team perspective, because I think that they perform different roles depending on the two. As a longtime MOBA veteran, if you're in a solo queue environment like the Hero League, where you're going to be playing alone, you don't know your team necessarily, you can't rely on them, you're not going to be able to orchestrate really complex strategies. I actually think you really do need bans, because there are heroes, assuming the game is toned around the competitive scene, where everything's balanced around the way it performs in a full 5v5, where you have full teams of people coordinating and playing against each other, which is the way these games are typically balanced. There are things that will just be outliers that should not be allowed to be played, honestly, in the solo queue environment. So I think to suggest that you won't have bans actually seems kind of like hubris to me, to suggest that you're never going to have a situation where there's just heroes just ruining the game. I'm willing to give it a shot, but I think it's just going to be something that they eventually go, I think that was a mistake, and they put bans in. That's just my perspective.
And I think there was a general, at the panel, okay, if this doesn't work, we are willing to talk about possibly putting it in. But for now, I understand where there's still not a ton of heroes and being concerned about having to ban anything. What do you think about in the team league? Do you think it's as necessary?
It's actually really weird to me that you're not allowed to have bans in the team league, because in a solo queue environment where the bans are all just based on power level and things that are frustrating, by having bans in the team environment, you actually provide more room for interesting strategies. You provide more room for banning out the things that your strategy is bad against, and then you kind of can draft yourself into a winning position that way. I would really like to see some legitimate game design arguments as to why they don't think banning is healthy for a team environment, because banning just provides a dramatically greater depth of strategy, in my opinion, for these games. We haven't seen a competitive MOBA game end up with a system where there aren't bans in the competitive play before, and it just seems baffling to me.
Trikslyr, do you want to talk about the thought process behind the no bans?
Yeah, so I don't know, Dustin came on to the little esports, the exhibition matches like before, and I think we had a little quick interview with them, and yeah, definitely, as you mentioned, Gailey, there has been a nice little atmosphere around saying that we're waiting for feedback, wanting to see what people want to think about the whole bans thing.
For sure.
But maybe something to consider a little bit is like one of the number one feedbacks about Heroes of Storm, or feedback that we get from Heroes of Storm, is that games are quick. You get into them and you're gone instantly, really, really fast. And by going through a draft phase and adding bans and stuff, you are adding a good amount of time to the games as is. And in fact, you might actually double the time in games. Just looking at bans by themselves, if people take all their time slots, if say it was 30 seconds, there's no numbers if they're not or anything, but you will actually be about 5 minutes going through 6 bans, and then you pick the heroes, so that's about another 3 minutes, and you're about 8 to 10 minutes already just going through the whole drafting phase. So there is like a thing where we want to make sure that we're reaching out to everyone at home that's playing in draft mode, and they're able to get in their games quick and they're able to get out, because again, that's why people love Heroes so much. It's quick, it's fast, it's action packed. So again, floating around on that, but again, like I'm not really the guy that is the one having thoughts behind all this stuff. It's definitely the design team wanting to make sure that they cover all their bases and definitely test things out before going to live. Because again, we're still in alpha, and probably whenever we see draft mode, it'll be beta, maybe, probably. I don't even know. So there'll be a lot of stuff floating around before the game even goes live. So definitely some time to test it out. And again, we're hearing your feedback. It's everywhere, man. It's Reddit. It's on the show. It was at BlizzCon immediately when the stuff was announced. So again, just keep letting us know what you think, and when it goes live, keep testing it there too.
And another thing too is where there's not going to be for now bans in draft mode. I think they also said that of course they can do them in tournaments as well. So it's not something where they have to be gone from tournaments. Isn't that? I think somebody said that as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of options that they can go with. So again, it's all up in the air right now.
Pretty open at least.
Yeah.
The game time argument actually seems like the most reasonable thing to me, and maybe you just try to put an emphasis on the mode without bans is like the normal way to play the game, maybe you just put an emphasis out on the community, and like that's the normal way the community plays, and only if you're really one of those try-harding scumbags who's gotta be at the top of the ladder. Like me, I want to be at the top of the ladder, so I want bans, but that's not like for people who only get like an hour and a half or two to play a day, like 30 minutes to play a day, where you want to like that way you can get 2 games in instead of maybe not even being able to get 1 game of the other games in. I could see that be like that's a really legitimate reason to not have them in.
Well, you could play without draft mode at all, right? Like you could still queue with a 5-stack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just an unranked.
Yeah. So do you have to draft in order to rank? Is that what we're saying?
So then, when you go into unranked or whatever, though, you don't get the number attached to you, and people love to have numbers attached to their stuff. So again, there's so many things to balance, and again, there's lots of things to consider. But again, I think Dustin said it was like 60-40. Like they're starting to feel a little bit when he was on that interview. There's what they want to go down. So again, keep giving the feedback. It is being listened to every week. I'm digging through that stuff, and we're getting it fed to the correct people. So
yeah, that's the point, right? Alpha, test stuff out, figure out what's gonna work.
Definitely.
And I have to say, I appreciate that Heroes hasn't been like they've been reactionary in that when they hear the community, they make a change, but they don't like knee-jerk change things, which I really appreciate, because gamers are so habitual, that we like, oh, this doesn't have a draft. I'm used to a draft. I need a draft, and so like the first round of feedback will be like, are you crazy? And then eventually we'll play with it a little bit, and either we'll be like, okay, but actually we need bans, or we'll be like, actually, now that we're trying it without them, maybe we don't, so I appreciate that slow process, I think.
Willing to take the risks and try things, which is what alpha is all about.
Yeah.
Figuring out what's going to make the best game.
Absolutely.
And the other flip of that coin, too, is, again, we appreciate when you guys say things. Like, sometimes when we test things internally and then we put it out there, we miss a couple things, and so it's important to get information from you guys, too. So we're hoping to build this game together. I know that's, like, a big thing for the designers here, is they want to build it with the community. So let's keep trucking along, man. Let's make this game awesome.
Well, and the best place to submit feedback is on the Battle.net forums, right?
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, definitely on the forums. We do dig through Reddit as well, and we also get things like to our direct Twitter at twitter.com/BlizzHeroes that we find a lot of stuff. So anything that we can point to that's actually on the internet and available is definitely a great way to give us feedback. But the forums would probably be the number one way to do it.
Cool.
Cool.
Well,
So moving on.
Yeah.
The things that were mentioned, there's also some new heroes that were mentioned as well. Yeah. So there were ones that are a little, I think, further along, and ones that just kind of popped up at the end of the panel. And I think we're going to talk about the heroes more later on in what would normally be our hero spotlight. But we've got Jaina Proudmoore, awesome Frost Mage, and then Thrall, and the Lost Vikings are the three that I think are the furthest along. And so those are the ones that we're going to be talking about more in the character spotlight later on. There's also talk of Sylvanas Windrunner. And then there are also some Diablo ones who are just kind of like popped up as well. I actually don't know that I have those.
Yeah, I didn't hear about. I heard about a Diablo map, but I didn't know there
There's
was
a Diablo map,
Yeah.
and they're at the panel. They just popped up at the end along with
It's
the map.
concept art, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
concept art.
Yep.
Very cool.
So
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah,
Crusader, right? I think Crusader was mentioned.
Crusader, the Butcher
Yeah.
as well, and then there was
Yeah.
one other that I can't remember the name of. But
I'm having
the
to think. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I don't say anything that's not correct.
it's okay, I can try to
Crusader,
find it.
Butcher.
Give
Yeah.
us the secrets, Tim.
All right, let's wait. Let's
I'll
find
look it up.
that.
I'll look it up.
Alright.
And then that Diablo map. Oh my gosh, the concept art that was showed for that was
Yeah.
just breathtaking. It looked so cool. So
Skeleton King. There it is.
Skeleton King. That's right.
Thank you, Stormbringer.
Yay.
See, this is the problem with being on stage and missing the deep dive panel. I'm apparently
Yeah, yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
It's like, what
Yeah.
was announced? You gotta make
Yeah.
sure.
Very cool. And then, of course, new Battlegrounds as well. We talked about the Diablo-themed one, which is like the heaven versus hell. It was just the concept art, but man, it's breathtaking. It looks so cool. And then there's also the Tomb of the Spider Queen, which actually there's a little bit of, I think, a video for that at the panel, which is cool because it's going to be the first Battleground that's all inside.
Yeah, that was so interesting.
Yeah, really cool. And then, of course, Sky Temple, I think, is going to be the first one that's out. And that's the one that we got to see during the BlizzCon Brawl. And that's the one that we wanted to kind of deep dive in and talk a little bit about for our map talk today.
And I'm putting these links to. I'm just on BattleNet right now, showing you kind of all the media that's been released. So I'm putting the links to that in the chat if you guys want to check that out more yourself. But yeah, we have pictures, concept art from both Sky Temple and Spider Queen, and then and here's the Diablo one as well. Very
Looks
cool.
so cool.
So that one's going to be kind of the forces of light and good against the forces of fire and evil. That's very interesting.
Really, really
Yeah.
cool.
It looks cool. I wonder if the gameplay mechanic will be cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope so, because that map is gorgeous.
I bet-
I wanna, like summon a demon. That's what I'm gonna do.
It's either you either summon a giant angel or you summon a giant demon. And
Yeah.
it's like, that'd be awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They're like fighting above you, like clashing and sparks and
That
amazing.
would be cool. Yeah, awesome.
It just plays a
Okay.
cinematic. You just like start the game and once
You're
you
just
get the
like,
map
oh.
objective, it just plays a cinematic.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Dude, I mean, we're all Blizzard fans. We can admit that we would love that just as much as playing the game.
Totally
Yeah.
watch that cinematic over and over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so we've looked at our battlegrounds from a zoomed out point of view. We've looked at our heroes from a zoomed out point of view. Let's kind of move into the part of our show where we would normally go, which is kind of taking a deeper look at these. And of course, we can't go too deep because they've never been really played by the public before. We don't have all of the details on the characters, but we do have our resident Blizzard employee who will tell us as much as he possibly can. And we do have 3 people who have played on Sky Temple before, especially DunkTrain and Trikslyr. I've played once, and I barely got it. So
I watched the game.
Yeah. So, who wants to give us the rundown of the basics of Sky Temple?
I can do that.
Cool.
Sweet.
I'm
All
very
you.
used to doing basic rundowns for maps. Okay, so you start Sky Temple. It's desert themed. It looks a little bit Egyptian in inspiration. It's got some really cool, actually, that I wanted to mention, new models for all the mercenaries. They're all custom model sets, which is really cool, and going forward in the future, it's going to be pretty awesome if every single map you play has different set of modeled mercenaries.
Yeah, the art team is really starting to flex their muscles on stuff.
Yeah,
like, it's beautiful.
It looked incredible to play. Like, it looked really, really amazing. I was so happy just looking at it. So you load in, you're in this sky temple, you know, all deserty themed. You run out. There are 3 shrines on the map. One located all the way in the north, one located all the way in the south, and one roughly in the middle, somewhere near the mid lane. Who knows? You know, close enough. Basically, they activate a little while into the map, and you run onto these shrines, and it's kind of like a capture point. If you're familiar with FPS games, you know, you want to stand there and hold the point. You gain control of it, and as long as you control it, it fires lightning bolts at the fort nearest to it. So it'll destroy that base, and while you hold it, you actually get attacked by NPCs that spawn. So you need to hold those off while you hold it. You also need to hold the enemy team off, and it basically just turns into a big brawl at temples.
And those mercenaries that spawn, do they continuously spawn, or once you
That's
kill them?
exactly what I was gonna ask.
Because even
is-
when I was playing, I couldn't figure that out.
There's actually 5. Yeah, there's set 5. So you have the one in the middle that pops out, and they're all like on a little timer as well. So if you like sit around, you run around, they'll all eventually come out at you. So it's best to deal with them 1-on-1, 2-on-1.
Yeah.
So yeah, a total of 5. And once you kill all 5, usually at that point you're about 3/4 of the way done on the little ticks that are available on the temple.
Oh,
So, yeah,
okay.
it'll shell down.
So
And
it
the last
doesn't, they don't just stay up for forever. After a
Correct.
while, it will stop.
Yes. It's
Yeah,
like,
all 5.
if you think about the pirate map
Yeah.
right now, Blackheart's Bay, where it does a certain number of shots, each of the shrines when they activate is kind of like that. Smaller increments, but, you know, really similar. And
Okay.
you have to maintain control the whole time for it to run out of ammo and stuff like that.
Cool.
Awesome.
So it's interesting, like the whole battleground is very busy. That's the entire point behind it, is to have tons of stuff for you to do. We're encouraging team fights like crazy. We want you to be in the action. In fact, you're gonna have like a little tingling thought in the back of your mind, like, I need to go back to lane. I need to absorb experience. And the design team wants you to have that weird thought of like, should I get experience or should I be doing the 4,000 other objectives on the battleground? Like, it's very, very in the point where they want you to be fighting all the time, man. So besides those the 3 temples that are on the map that spawn randomly, you could have 1 up. You don't know. You also have 5 mercenary camps that are on the battleground as well. So you have a night camp in the top right, a night camp at the top left. In the middle, you have this huge boss mercenary that we don't even have a name for yet, but oh my god, he's terrifying. And then you have 2 giants as well. And the boss mercenary, when you kill it off, it has this like little sand dune thing that spins around, and it hurts. Oh my gosh, it hurts, and it knocks you around as well. It will actually push with your mercenary camp at the same time. Like, mules get destroyed by this thing. As like it'll pop up and it'll actually knock off mules that are trying to heal your turret. So you have to deal with that. Yeah, so
I
it's
like that.
really powerful, and it's such a pain to get. But if you do get it, it's a very strong boost in power. So this battleground, it's huge. It's all over the place, and I can't wait to get it onto live because I feel like it's going to pull a lot of heroes out that aren't as prevalent in the meta right now because they're easy to gank, such as Gazlo. I feel like this map is so big, and there's a lot of things for Gazlo to excel at that he can actually kind of outplay his opponents a little bit more and not get counter ganked. So I'm looking forward to him.
Wow, the Gazlo call.
The Gazbro, man. Every
That's
day.
interesting.
Predicted the
because
Illidan.
That's the second
Illidan's
time
great.
I've heard that today.
Dude.
Somebody else told
Really?
me they thought that Gazlo was going to come out on Sky Temple as well. So
Good, man. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Well, speaking of heroes who are going to be good, something that I wanted to know is this map seems kind of Dragonshire-ish. So my question was, do you think that team comps that favor skirmishes like in Dragonshire are going to be better, or more like the standard like team fight 5 versus 5 comps that you see on like Curse Hollow?
I don't think you're going to be able to run the 5v5 compositions. There are fun compositions right now in the game, like the Odin Archon Bloodlust type compositions that rely on having all 5 people in the same place doing one thing and all your ultimates up. And from playing Sky Temple once or twice, like, I just don't think you can do that because there's objectives all over the map and there's so many mercenary camps and the map is huge. I think if you group 5 people in a lane, unless you're trying to push the core, I think you're going to get punished. So I'm pretty sure that global mobility is going to be a very, very important thing on this map, in addition to having heroes that can survive and do well in small skirmishes like 1v1s, 2v2s, maybe some 1v2s here and there if you're Arthas, stuff like that.
Yeah, agreed. I think heroes that have global presence the hunt is going to make you more.
Definitely fall stat at least then, eh?
Yeah, false, that'd be great. Brightwing. I also think heroes that are just plain bullies in lane. So Thrall, his strength is pretty darn strong. Looking at someone like Sonya, Gazlo, Tyrael. I feel like warriors are going to make a pretty big impact on this map. Just because they're meant to be a little bit more durable. They're able to deal with mercenary camps, NPCs pretty darn well. And they're also able to force engagements. And with engagements happening all over this map all the time, and most likely not going to be 5v5s, it'll be like 2v1s, 3v2s. Having warriors and teams that can force those initiations so you can get objectives is going to be huge. So
I like that. Tyrael's my favorite.
That's right, that angel.
He's awesome.
That was the same feeling I got just from the very short time that I played on this map, was that like I wanted every character on my team to be able to solo a merc camp, because it feels like there's so much to happen, so much going on at one time, that all 5 of us need to be running around doing an objective, and we need to not need help, you know? So I'm curious to see. I think you're right saying that warriors are going to be really important on this map.
That's awesome. I'm really pumped. Dragonshire is my favorite map right now. I love the whole skirmish versus the big team fight thing, so I'm even more excited now. I'm just so excited.
Well, and I really like when this game breaks the traditional expectations for a MOBA, because I get so tired of the like 3 lanes bumping into each other, bang, 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 you know, like I want to play something new and fresh. And so I like that you're saying that the developers are trying to force us to do something totally different, because again,
that's what the map mechanics, that's what they're made for. It's just like to push you in different ways, and they're hoping to do that with all Battlegrounds. They don't want to have copies or anything like that. So again, I can't wait for the future, man. I sometimes like have dreams about just going to the future one year and seeing where Heroes is at. Like, I totally have those type of dreams, but we just need a StarCraft map and I'll be good to go.
Oh my gosh,
I like
yes.
that
Please,
you
StarCraft map. Please, base Blizzard development team.
Come on, come on. I like that you mentioned too that it's got like an FPS element of it. I like the idea of combining in like multiple types of games too, because that's true. I do remember the whole like where you have to stand on it and capture it. That's really cool to think about.
It also promotes like really fast gameplay, like Tim said. Just it feels so much faster.
Like you just have a constant thing in the back of your mind, like I need to be doing something, or they're gonna take it all from me. Like I need to go fight them, and that's such a cool feeling, and one that you have to learn how to manage. Can't wait.
I think that's specifically interesting because some of the people who I talk to, some of the pros who play MOBAs say, you know, when I play this game, I feel like because I don't have to focus on last hitting, I have more time to focus on like overall strategy or, you know, map vision or those kinds of things. So it'll be interesting to see in this map when they don't have that luxury of that much time to focus on map awareness or, you know, overall strategy, how that's going to set one team higher than another. You know, if my team has very good individual players as opposed to another team that has players that synergize very well, like you said, that kind of like all 5 of us need to be together kind of strategy. It'll be interesting to see how this map is kind of a separation for those.
Yeah, the multiple maps in the pool is going to make competitive play so interesting going forward. I mean, we even saw it at the exhibition tournament, going back to that, like C9 was the only one who was willing to pick mines. Nobody else wants to touch that map, but C9 had it figured out. Like, you're going to have teams that are just unbeatable on certain maps. It's going to be really interesting dynamic.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Me too.
So, of course, you know, we usually want to talk about like early and late game strats and things like that and team composition, but of course, this is all speculation at this point, but I think we've got a pretty good start on it. Any other tips and tricks that you guys want to talk about this map before we move on to talking about the new heroes that have been announced?
Yeah, I think the only thing, just watch out for that boss mercenary camp. It's a big deal. It's very, very powerful. And also just make sure that I feel like you need to sneak it on that map. Just because like when a team fight happens around there, like it hurts too much. You either have to escape and give it away to your opponents, or you all just team fight and it kills all 10 of you. Like it's so strong, man. I'm so scared of that thing.
Dude, I want to see a game where every hero in the game gets killed and everyone
and the boss
down.
just goes back as like
The boss should rank up at that point. The boss should rank up.
Yeah,
So,
just get a little bit stronger.
Double health. Yeah.
You get the scorpion tail, like it just gets way more powerful. I actually think on the video that you're watching right now, there's actually a team fight that happens there, and I think I'm playing Jaina in this map. And you just see me as Jaina get hit by this thing 3 times and die. Like I'm using ice block, I'm trying my best to like walk away from it, and the dude it is like chasing me down, slamming me in a corner, and just kills off Jaina, and then kills off the rest of my teammates. Like It's so powerful.
Huh.
So just be careful. That's all I'm saying.
Watch out.
Care.
Be safe.
Take care.
You know,
Take care.
I have to say one of my favorite little tidbits about this map that you pointed out to me, Trikslyr, was that if you're by the edge of the map and you get killed, you can fall off of it.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
This little falling animation. I don't know if this is true or not, but I have suspicions that the art team like amped up the ragdoll physics on this battleground. Because there are things flying left and right. It's totally cool.
Well, if it's really high up and there's less gravity, I mean, it's gonna be
Fighting in space.
Totes.
Yep.
Like StarCraft.
That's how the StarCraft. I was just like, oh, the StarCraft map.
Yeah, like all knockbacks are like 5 times as powerful or something.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
You just go back to base.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to talking a little bit about these new heroes, and maybe actually a little bit more in depth. And I actually know very, very little other than what you've told me, Trikslyr, and so those of you who may have been to the deep dive panel might know a lot more than I do. So why don't we start with Jaina? She seems to be one of the more developed characters so far.
Well, Dunk took the last one, so I'll intro Jaina here.
Okay.
Jaina is a frost mage. She's the hero everyone has been wanting to have in the Tech Alpha. A mage, someone that does burst damage or some form of crowd control, but from afar. She really fits that whole entire mold that people are wanting, and she'll be fun to get out. She has a really interesting trait. Every ability she does actually procs a trait or a talent, or a trait called Chill, and it actually slows the opponents down by a substantial mark. So you have this weird dynamic of like, do I kite with Jaina by slowly like proccing my abilities here and there to make sure that they're frozen the entire time, or do I just try and burst them all at once? Because it also provides crits as well. So you have this weird like play style to play around with her. She's a lot of cool talents that you're able to pick up too.
Can I
that.
ask you, does she get rewind?
I don't think she had rewind in the BlizzCon build.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know if putting rewind on her would be a good idea.
When you said everything slows down, so I was like, well, does she
Yeah.
get rewind?
Why not,
Sorry.
Trikslyr? Why not?
I mean, you can totally get a beat with her where you can really just slow someone down the entire time until you kill them off. And if you are really good at kiting, you're there. So Jaina in one-on-one scenarios, if they don't have like an instant engage, can really do a crazy amount of damage. So we'll see how she comes out. She also has a cool like new ice block animation. I don't know if anyone got to see that at BlizzCon, but
No.
she has like an ice block specific for her. She like raises her hand and everything, and like the ice comes around her and like slams across the wall. It's so beautiful.
Oh, awesome.
But yeah, Jaina's the ice mage. She really fits in that style. She has a lot of cool talents that allow her to like build pure damage if she wants to, or you can build more CC based. So she can actually, there's some talk about maybe running her as like a support a little bit and just being very CC-esque. Her two heroics, Water Elemental, is just a throwback to Warcraft 3 for you fans out there. And it's also, you can actually target the summon again. So you can like hit R, click on somebody else, and then the Water Elemental will chase that new opponent. So you can kind of jump around and kind of micro it a little bit. And then her last one, I believe, is Ring of Frost, which is this huge like area effect, like small delay, stun / freeze that adds chill to everybody in a circle. So very wombo combo-esque, very kind of like force engage or disengage type of heroic ability that's going to be really powerful.
Cool. So
Yeah.
she's classified as an assassin, but you think she could potentially be used as a support?
Yeah, she has some talents that like you can be very CC based, so I would use her more of
Cool.
like kiting and peeling. So I mean, support might be going a little bit too far, but I feel like you can try to like mold her down that way of like, all right, I'm not here to do damage, but I'm here to save my assassins, or I'm here to make sure that we lock down people in fights, which are pretty cool.
That's interesting.
So like the reverse of how people are using Tassadar, where he's classified as a support, but they're using him as an assassin.
Yeah, I like the could be used multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that really differentiates heroes from a lot of games like it.
And her cloak, man, that cloak is bad A, man.
It is.
Cloak. She's awesome. I'm excited to get her into the mix. It's great to have a mage finally in Heroes of the Storm. Because she's one of those archetypes that people want to have. So can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
digging
was
her
actually-
bell bottoms myself.
I'm really happy to have a mage because there hasn't really been a mage thematically in the game yet, and that really felt like something that was missing. I think everyone agreed that like you just didn't have any mage heroes. You have like a witch doctor and you have a Zerg queen, and yeah, they're kind of magey in that they're really important about their spells, but you didn't have anyone that's like I'm playing a mage. I mained a mage in Vanilla WoW, and now I get to go back and play a frost mage, and like that's really exciting. Plus, I love spellcasters, so I'm super hyped for Jaina.
Ice is always fun too.
Yeah.
So Thrall then.
Yeah.
What's up with Thrall? I'm excited about Thrall because I believe he's a melee assassin, which I feel like we don't get to see as much of those.
Yeah.
So I'm really pumped about Thrall.
Yeah.
Dunk, did you get to play Thrall at all? Do you want to intro him or?
I wish I got to play Thrall,
Okay.
man. I was too busy.
You should have given him Jaina.
Yeah, you should have. You really should have given me Jaina.
right.
I could have talked about Jaina all night, but Thrall. I mean, the only things I saw from Thrall were he throws a wolf out there that kills you and roots you. I noticed that. I noticed I died a lot to Thrall. Every time he touched me, it felt like I died. That's what I know about Thrall. So, pro tip, people, don't let Thrall touch you. You will die.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that is a good tip because he does hurt. Oh my gosh, he's very strong right now. So yeah, Thrall. I think designers really wanted to like play up the whole like Doomhammer. They really wanted to make sure that that was a thing that people were a little bit terrified of, and rightfully so. You are terrified right now if you are playing against that. I think I went to a match on Saturday morning against Lowell, and I like had my team and his team, and then it was like Team Thrall versus us. Like we just got wrecked all day because he was just outplaying us left and right. And so yeah, speaking of his abilities, he has Chain Lightning on his Q, which bounces around I believe to 3 different people, can harm them pretty nicely. So you have that range element to him, and then you have the Feral Spirit, as you were mentioning, that little wolf. The great thing about the wolf is it's not blocked by minions in its current state, so you can use it to wave clear, but you can also use it to initiate on people that are behind minions. So it's pretty strong in that regard. It's just a great way to get on top of people. Because the thing about Thrall is, yeah, he puts out a lot of damage, but he's not very tanky. If he gets CC'd, he gets focused down, and he's not able to really take advantage of his trait, he dies super fast. And speaking of his trait, it's Frostwolf Resilience. Yeah, I got it written over here. Frostwolf Resilience. So every time he uses an ability, he gets a little proc down in the bottom left corner of his UI menu. It's a little red dot you'll see. And once he gets a 5th proc, he actually heals himself for a substantial amount. So you're kind of able to bait yourself a little bit and kind of position yourself to like, hey, come kill me, use all your CC, engage, and then, here's Chain Lightning, here's Feral Spirit, I'm healed halfway, and now Doomhammer's in your face 3 times, and then you kill somebody off. So that's the way you get Doomhammer is a Wind Fury ability, that's a Z. That's where it procs it 3 times, it gets movement speed and attack speed. So we just bam, 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 kill someone off really quickly.
So you've just got to be really diligent with your trait then in order to keep your sustain up?
Yeah, the trait really makes him come together. That heal just makes him feel very, very nice in terms of like you can force engagements, and you can also kind of sustain yourself through lane as well. So like, say you win your lane in top lane or whatever, you can heal yourself up and keep staying there, keep getting minion experience, or for your entire team. So Thrall's got some potential. I can't wait for him to come out. I keep saying that about all these heroes, but gosh, they're all awesome. I'm ready for him to be in the game.
Why don't you just release them all tomorrow, Tim?
Yeah.
Just put them all in.
Why just flip the switch over there at Blizzard?
Yeah.
I'll send a couple emails. We'll
Just
get them
open
out.
the floodgates.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was scared when I saw Thrall as a melee assassin because my biggest problem, I have a diving problem. I like to just like jump into the middle of a team fight when I really shouldn't be. And so as an assassin, as a melee assassin, I would just do that all the time. So that heal is really interesting to me because that would be my only chance of surviving. And when I saw him, I was like, okay, well, if he's kind of tanky, then that could help. But I guess if you make the tankiness yourself, that's cool. I can dig that.
Yeah, definitely play around it. And so that's something that your opponents have to look out for. Like, how many abilities do they have? And it makes this like weird counting element that goes on. It's pretty fun and interesting. Like, he's only used 1 ability and he only has 3 that I could proc. I can go all in on him and he might die. So there's a lot of things like that to consider. Because again, once you do get on him, he can die pretty quickly. So his heroics is Earthquake and Sundering. Earthquake is this huge like area effect ability. It's huge. That slows movement speed, I believe, by a substantial amount. You really feel like you're walking through an earthquake with that thing. And then Sundering, which is this huge knockback ability that's thrown forward. It knocks everyone to the side. It's a huge displacement, and it's done in like a second. Like it just displaces everyone in a second, so you can really just split people up. So he's got some powerful heroics too.
The Sundering was really cool looking, and bonus at level 20. It goes global, so you can like shoot it across the map.
What?
It's really cool looking.
You
I
can
don't know if
shoot
the
it all
global
the way across?
Yeah, right now the global
Cool.
talent, like on the BlizzCon build, the level 20 talent it just goes forever and ever and just goes across the map. So you can just like snipe someone with a stun across the map. It was really hilarious when I saw you like that. I don't know if it's good, but it made for some sick highlights that game.
Yeah.
I actually didn't get to try that out, but that sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the earthquake
So
sounds
strong.
super annoying too, in a really good way.
That could be really good for sieging. I mean, it would be really hard to engage on an enemy team who's like sieging your base if you have
Sergeant
Earthquake up.
Hammer and
Yeah.
You're just gonna
Brawl.
walk through it. Yeah, you're just gonna walk through Earthquake. No. So that could be really
Definitely
interesting,
not.
actually.
I'm actually wanting to try Earthquake mixed with a few Assassins with Executioner, and just drop that, and they're not able to get away, and just get the extra damage from the Executioner procs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it lasts a pretty long time. I think it's like 4 seconds. Like people are trying to run away, and you're just like, no, you're dead. Sorry.
Actually, no. Sorry, you're dead.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So shall we move on to Lost Vikings? Anything else we want to say about Thrall before we leave him?
He's iconic, and can't wait to get him out.
Heck yeah.
Wow,
All right.
You sound like a record, Tim.
Thanks.
You can't wait for anything, can you?
I can wait for sleep tonight.
Oh.
All right, so
Lost
Lost Vikings.
Vikings.
This is the one that all of my StarCraft player friends are stoked about because it is 3 separate entities that you get to play. Who's going to tell us more about that?
Not me.
I choose Trikslyr.
All right, so the Lost Vikings. These guys are so fun. So out of the 3, these are probably my favorite personally. Just because, again, from the StarCraft background, these guys just take that skill that you took forever grinding out, trying to become good at jumping around maps, and totally utilizes it. My favorite part about them, too, is they're 3 different entities, and they also have like different traits, different movement speeds, different ways to play. So you essentially have 3 different small heroes running around the entire battleground that all have different death timers, too. So
I didn't
they
know
are, yeah, they are,
Yeah.
they are very hard mechanically, but very rewarding at the same time. So like it's one of those. It's definitely embodies the whole easy to pick up but super hard to master mindset that Blizzard goes for. And like I remember like testing these guys out for the first time, and they had no talents or anything or abilities available. And I remember just thinking, this is what I want in Heroes of the Storm. Like complete chaos to where I can just like be all over the place all the time. So going through basically what their current state were in the BlizzCon build. So Olaf. It's the bigger guy with the huge belly button. He is pretty slow in terms of movement speed, but he's very powerful. He's pretty tanky, and you can also pick up a talent later on that lets you to stun with his auto attacks. So I like to grab that, and I actually pair him up with Eric, who is a little small guy with the huge red beard. He's super fast. He's a speedster, man. He just runs all over the place. So he's really great at kiting. So I will take Olaf and him and then combine them 2 together, and then take the other guy, Baylog, I believe I pronounced that correctly. He actually has Demolitionist built into his auto attacks. So I'll take him and put him to a different lane and split push with them that someone else is in that, so I can get experience and also break down towers and force them to come deal with me, while I'll take Eric and Olaf and just run around the map ganking people. And then when people try to deal with Eric, I just like kite around Olaf, and Olaf would just stun them into auto attacks and just stick them there and just kill them. So they're a ton of fun to play around with. How you control them is currently right now 1, 2, 3, 4. On the hotkeys is 1 hero, 1 Viking, 1 Viking, and then you can group all 4 at the same time if you need to grab them by hitting 4 and just pulling them back. So if you're like super fast and mechanical, you can really just play them all over the place.
So they don't
And
have
their
separate
ultimate-
abilities?
So no, I don't. I think you can unlock abilities, but they don't come out with abilities at first.
Okay.
They're simple little things that you run around with, auto attacking, and use that to your advantage.
But each auto attack does something, right? Like Olaf's auto attack does the stunning.
Stun, and then Baylog is the one with
Right.
Demolitionist, and the other one I believe is just pure damage.
I thought what was cool is they, in the video showed them 2 of them body blocking somebody
Yeah.
inside one of the U's. I think it was of Cursed Hollow, and then another one was in there just like destroying it, and they couldn't get out, and so you effectively body blocked and destroyed somebody just by yourself.
The body blocks and the kiting on people are insanely crazy. Like if you could take them all into one lane. Like a lot of players when they first pick them up, they'll pick all 3 up and take them in a lane. So someone like Arthas might come and engage and get on top of Olaf, and you'll see the other 2 like peel back and start kiting and knocking him down. And then when Olaf can get away, you bring another one up and kite and like body block and save Olaf. Like there's so many small potential plays that like when players get these heroes and they're insanely good at them, they're gonna just do crazy stuff. And I can't wait to see that. again, broken record, but
So to make up, I mean, like, so obviously I have 3 heroes right now instead of 1. To balance that out and make me not totally OP, is it just the fact that I need to be focused on 3 people at once, or are they going to have like lower HP so that they can be killed easier, or what's the part that I need to give up in order to have 3 heroes?
yeah, that's the thing about them is that they are very low on HP, so they can be killed off really quickly. I feel like they're a little bit more health than Murky. That's what it feels like. I don't know the actual numbers on it, but they're all like little Murkies running around in terms of health pools. Olaf's a little bit more tankier. But yeah, they're very easy to dispatch of in team fights. Area effect abilities destroy these guys if you don't know how to like hide out. Like if you like hit 4 and try to pull them together, they'll naturally start to group up and they'll just all die to like say a blizzard ability from Jaina. They will die very, very quickly if you do not manage them appropriately. So there is that trade-off of like I need to actually focus on these guys and make sure that they're working together and are near each other.
But their ultimate, I'm sorry, I'm just so excited about their ultimate. They all get into a Viking ship and then they like shoot cannons out of their Viking ship.
I don't know what the ability does, but I do know they get in a ship, and that's awesome.
I think in the current state it's called Longboat Raid. Yeah, so they all jump into the boat, and you're actually able to aim like fireballs at people. And then you're just able to run around, and you have like music playing through it all. It's just like a jolly good time. And they're having fun, and you have this like Lost Vikings like remastered track, I believe, from the first game, just like going off the entire time. So yeah, that's just pure damage for that one. And then the other one is Play Again, where say you go into a fight, you lose Eric and Balog. Olaf is still there. You can pop your ult, and they'll instantly spawn right next to you.
Oh,
so
dang.
yeah, instant respawn. You can also like bring them from different lanes. If they're all 3 spread out, you need to fight. You can hit that ult and all come together.
Interesting. So different ways of utilizing it.
I feel like this hero is the one where people were like, as a joke, you know what we should do, and started talking about it, and then they're like, no wait, that could work, and then they did it because it just seems so crazy, but it seems pretty awesome too.
Oh yeah.
I'm really happy with like the way the design team went with this because it's fun. Like it's what it comes down to. If you walk away, even if you get stomped, you're just like, that was a good game. That was awesome. Like I had a kill with Eric. GG.
The most fun part for me playing with the Lost Vikings was seeing him at 50 deaths at the end of the game and still top hero damage in the game. That was the best part. I like was flabbergasted.
That's great.
How he even managed to feed that many times. It was incredible.
So wait, is it does it count your deaths then per Viking?
Yep.
Wow.
They all die individually.
I haven't pitched that, yeah.
Yeah, they all die individually, give reduced experience, and have reduced death timers, and all their death timers are individual. So like you can have one Viking die and like still play with the other 2, and then the other one will come back. It was actually really cool.
A question from chat: if you were to get like the Dragon Knight as one of the Vikings, would you still have the other 2 on the map?
Yeah, the other 2 are running around, so you have to control
Whoa.
the Dragon Knight. The other 2.
Yeah, never get Dragon Knight unless you
That's-
are extremely good at microing.
And I'm not sure if it's confirmed or anything, but someone did ask about Abathur and cloning. Do you get all 3? You only get the hero that you clone that I've heard from the guys trying it out BlizzCon, so I don't know what occurred there or
6
not, but
Vikings.
that would be fun.
That's
You could have
interesting.
6 Vikings, 3 pandas. What else can we do? Like, are there any other splitters?
Let's just
be
get
great.
400
That's it
members.
for now.
Yeah, we need like 20 people on the team and just like Zerg bases.
I think there was also a question about the mount. They don't have a mount in the current state. Again, could change. That they have like a little boost in speed, where they get like little like white like dust. You know, in the cartoons where you see something run fast and dust pops up, they get that and they like speed away and you can go in different areas. So they have a speed boost essentially, similar to like Sergeant Hammer, just different animation and stuff.
Interesting.
Awesome. Well, I think that's about it. Any final thoughts on the new heroes coming out?
Do we know anything about Sylvanas other than that she's coming out?
Yeah, I have no idea what was released at the Heroes panel, so on that one, without anything being released, I'm not too sure what exactly is out on her. I know she's being worked on, and that's
Well,
cool.
she looks
Can't
cool.
Wait.
She looks
Can't
amazing.
wait. Can't wait. I'm gonna say that all night, dude.
I
Can't stop.
wait.
Every time I say it, I literally look over at DunkTrain and I see his eyes like twitch. Stop saying it.
Which of the new heroes are you most excited about? Maybe including the ones from Diablo as well. So you have more of a selection.
You guys go first.
I think Sylvanas looks amazing, and I'm really excited. They showed that one of the things that she can do is when she attacks, she can keep it from attacking back. And so, like, we saw her, like, roll up to a tower, and she actually kept a tower from attacking her. And I was like, that's going to be cool. Oh, and she can mind control mercs, right? So there was a merc camp going against her, like the 2 giants, and she actually mind controlled one giant to attack the other giant. And I was like, oh, that can totally change the game. So she's one I'm really looking forward to. I just remembered all of that, by the way, Anna. Sorry. I know you asked a bit ago if we knew anything. I just totally remembered everything.
That's okay. I'm glad to know. I think that I am most hyped as somebody who's excited to watch the pros, especially. I'm really hyped about Lost Vikings because I think that that's going to really, because we have pros coming from a lot of different types of games, and I think the RTS pros are going to be like really shine on Lost Vikings. So I'm really pumped to watch that. As far as who I'm excited to play, I did not expect to be as excited about Thrall as I am, because I heard Melee Assassin and I was like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
But
maybe you could do it.
Yeah, but I think
could be the Kerrigan you could never do.
Maybe I can. Maybe I can do it. So I know.
Just believe.
I know. Believe. Passion. Anyway, what about you, DunkTrain?
Oh, Jaina for me, no question. I love mages and just can't wait to have one in the game. I'm so excited. The first time somebody successfully like kites out 3 people and kills all of them one by one, it's just gonna be the cleanest highlight. I cannot wait to play Jaina. I'm gonna play Jaina when she comes out. I'm literally playing Jaina for 6 weeks straight on my stream. No joke. I'll never play anything else again. People will be like, Dunk, we need to draft Abathur this game. I'm like, I'm a Jaina only player. I'm sorry, guys. I can't play anything else. I forgot how. So I'm so hyped to have a mage in the game. Please.
Wow, one of each so far. None of us overlapped. So, Trikslyr, you're the tiebreaker.
Wait, which one was left?
We all picked, each of us
Lost
picked
Vikings.
the 4. Oh, I guess I picked 2, so never mind.
Yeah, Anna
Lost
picked
Vikings
2. What a cheater.
Sorry.
I can't
I'm sorry, I'm
I can't,
selfish.
I can't round this out.
She said Lost Vikings first, so you could...
Well, I said I was most excited to play Thrall, so that can be
Oh,
my
okay,
pick.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I was originally just gonna pick the Lost Vikings, just because I love to be pushed mechanically. It's just one of the things, like, playing games competitively, I just like to be, like, pushed to the brink and see if I can break stuff. So I'm looking forward to the Lost Vikings personally, and also just because I want to see players that can break things that are way better than me, play the Lost Vikings and see how they're incorporated into the meta, how they can change the meta, how people have to respond to them, because there is potential for the 3 heroes to be sucking all 3 lanes of experience, like on Sky Temple, and the rest of your team is all fighting over temples. So there's all this possible scenarios that could happen, and I just want it to be out. Fixed it.
Would you say that you can't wait?
I think I would say that, Anna. I think I would say that.
You should just call the title of this episode, I Can't Wait.
I can't wait.
All right, well, we obviously can't wait because we've been talking about all these, and I know we're taking up a lot of your guys' time tonight, but let's move out of talking about the heroes and give our viewers some time to ask you guys some questions. So I hope you viewers have been paying close attention and giving us your questions already. Remember that if you want to ask any questions of myself, Gilly, or either of our guests, all you have to do is tweet with the hashtag StormShow and we'll find it. Gilly, have you been keeping track?
I've actually been writing down, I've been writing down a ton. I'm ready, but first things first, I want to ask a question of my own, which is if there were to be a StarCraft map that became a battleground, which map would you hope it would be? I vote Fruitland. I love Fruitland.
I miss Fruitland. Oh my gosh, that was so long ago. It's taking me back to my days when I was a youngin'.
I know,
Fruitland.
right?
Ah, so good.
It looks awesome. It would be an awesome battleground, I think. Do you have any favorite maps that you think would be fun to show?
I think I would go towards a custom route actually, and more like Nexus Wars. Somehow incorporated into heroes, like some way to have things spawning and constantly fighting for you. Would be pretty cool.
That'd be
Mono
really
battles.
cool.
It's just all.
Yeah.
I was just thinking mono
Mono
battles.
battles.
How could we do that?
Yeah.
There's
all
so
the
much
ver-
cool opportunity that could happen. Yeah.
All the minions.
Star
are
Jeweled.
one. Yeah.
Star Jeweled. Okay. If I were gonna make a StarCraft themed map, it would be the map from I think Wings of Liberty campaign where the lava rises
That would be so
and like
cool.
goes down, like unlocking and blocking off different areas of the map, or like you can walk through it but you take damage or something. That would be pretty interesting.
I
saw a
hated that
post-
map in StarCraft, but I would love it in
It
Heroes.
would be so cool. I think we actually had this conversation. I had this conversation with someone that was like our favorite. That would be amazing to see as a map in Heroes because it would change things so much.
I saw a post somewhere, I believe it was on Reddit. I don't know who mentioned the battleground, but it'd be cool to like in the middle of the battleground, like if your turrets are up, like if you're in the middle of the area where the laning is, like this huge wave of Zerglings just runs all the way down through everything and kills everything in the way. And then as like turrets are killed off, they get more room to like go into your opponent. So killing off your opponent's turrets is a good idea because you get more Zerglings in that area, so they have to pull back to their base and you can take objectives afterwards. Like that'd be really, really cool. But again, there's so
Zergrush?
much potential. Yeah, Zergrush.
Call it Zergrush.
Developers, I know you're watching the show, and I have a special message for you, which is to notice how many of us just talked about Zerg objectives and how great they would be. So in case you're thinking, wow, you know, StarCraft is notably Terran, and we usually do Terran first, and Terran, I implore you, please hear our love for Zerg. Make us a swarm map, please.
Or to give Protoss some love with Legacy of the Void being like the big, you could do something Protossy too.
Now, ignore my co-host. She knows not what she speaks.
Just Reavers drop in and blow everybody up, just like old school Reavers.
Or carriers. You're gonna like you're on a carrier or you're fighting interceptors or something. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. There's a ton of potential, and that's like the good thing about this game, and I think what like gives it so much life is like you can just constantly keep innovating and keep moving down the road. So
Yeah.
can't.
Okay, moving on to other
Yes,
questions. This will be a quick one. Can shrines hit the core on Sky Temple?
Yeah, temples? Yes, they can.
Oh, the temples, okay.
The magical laser, I don't think there's a name for that quite yet, but yes, it will hit the core as well. So it breaks it down slowly.
Okay. And second part of that question, can cloaked heroes cap the locations?
Yes, it
think so.
can. I don't know if it knocks them out of cloak or not.
Yeah,
I mean, they would have to be there to attack the, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
One of the games, and you get decloaked actually.
Oh, okay.
Or like the minions see through your cloak or something because they just wail on you anyway. Which was an unfortunate surprise.
I don't deal with your cloak.
10 HP Zeratul walks up like, oh, I'm gonna ninja this shrine, no big deal. Whack! Like, okay, I guess I'm dead, team.
Yeah, I think that's a way of making the battlegrounds all consistent, because like any map objective that you try to grab while cloaked will decloak you no matter what, like Dragonshire or anything, so that's probably just a way to make sure that everything's consistent.
What is your most wanted hero you'd like to see before the game is completely released?
Ooh.
So, pipe dream.
My dream's been filled, so it's all you guys. My dream is here forever.
Illidan.
Yeah, I guess
He is love and he is life.
Wow.
I feel similarly about Kerrigan, but because that's already been done. Before today, after BlizzCon, I have been, my little heart has been just love dubbing away for Tracer. Please, Tracer!
we haven't talked about Overwatch at all.
Yeah, we haven't
Any of you
mentioned
pick up this
Overwatch.
now?
Yeah. Overwatch, in case you're completely out of the loop, is Blizzard's brand new IP that's going to be a shooter, and it's very cool. We don't have time to talk about it at all, but Tracer is the main character of that, and she's adorable, and I am in love with her, and I would
There's
love
my
her to be in the
Overwatch
game.
shirt.
But barring that, also today someone tweeted me the best idea I've ever heard, which is a Leroy Jenkins character. I just think
is that we have that in Murky? Isn't that?
I mean, yeah, but can you imagine playing Leroy and your ultimate? You just yell Leroy Jenkins. Oh,
Don't
You can't even control it either. It's just random.
Yeah.
Like you just in lane and suddenly, like at level 3, you just randomly get your heroic and just charge into people and dive their turrets.
That'd be more fun.
Yeah, so those are mine.
I think for me, I've told this story before. I'm gonna do a shortened version, but for me, the hero I want to see most in Heroes is Karen Bloodhoof, because I have really fond memories of being young and my first time playing Vanilla WoW. Everybody, I mean, Tarans are the best race by like a million miles, so obviously I start a Taran. you know, I'm playing Tarn, you get to Thunderbluff for the first time, you have like a shaman quest to go talk to Karen, and you're like, this place is a maze. I can't find anything. Nothing is marked. It's vanilla WoW. There's no quest markers. You have nothing on your map. So you're wandering for 6 hours on Thunderbluff, and you find Karen, and you're like, dude, this guy is holding a log, like an entire tree as his weapon. Like, that's the guy, right? This is my hero, and that's why I want to see him in Heroes of the Storm. I just want like a big Tauren chieftain to go hard
Log
with.
wielding.
Yeah.
All
That'd
right.
be awesome.
I can go, and that's either Celindis. I've always loved Celindis. I think she's so amazing. Or when I played WoW, I played Death Knight, and so I would love to have a Death Knight female version if possible. But I think Death Knight, all the Death Knight abilities would be really cool as well. But Celindis at heart, I think, is my number one.
It would also be really cool. This is totally random, but when you were DunkTrain, when you were talking about like beloved Blizzard memories, one of my favorite memories is playing Warcraft, like original Warcraft, I think, or Warcraft 2, on a LAN that my dad made in our house, so that I had the upstairs computer and my brother had the downstairs computer, and we were just yelling down the stairs at each other. And I was always orcs and he was always humans, and so the peon orc would actually be like my favorite little hero to play, because all of those sound bites, all of the voice pack for those little peons is like my little warm and fuzzy Blizzard memory place. So I would take that one too.
They should do an announcer pack of peon noises. That's what
Yes.
they should do.
Dum dum.
That's what I want.
By the way, your new name is Liquid Log Train for
That
chat.
sounds awful. That
What?
sounds actually awful.
Why is he locked trained?
Because he's talking about how amazing
Karen
Bloodworth was. I can't even talk.
A probe hero? Oh my gosh.
Yes, Probe would be awesome.
Would be cool.
Cannon blocked.
Yes. Okay, we could talk about that forever.
Cannon rushing people. It's Heroes of-
Actually,
Just
yeah.
go grab the watchtower and there's 4 cannons just sitting there. You're like, no, like that.
That's awesome.
Trikslyr, do you have one that you would be excited about seeing the most, or you got Illidan? Is that what you said?
Oh, here's the thing. Like, I'm kind of weird in terms of how I came into Blizzard games. Was through StarCraft 2. Like, that was my first Blizzard game. And so a lot of the heroes that I already know / recognize are already in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really glad that Heroes came out, because it's given me an opportunity to learn about all the other heroes that are in the different games like Warcraft, Diablo, and like I'm just in it for the ride now, because like every time a hero comes out and then we do a hero week or a hero spotlight, I just go hard into like learning about their background, their lore, and all the new stuff, and like I've become more of a Blizzard fan because of this game. So I'm actually okay with just any hero that comes out, because the heroes that I already know are pretty much in the game, except for like Phoenix and all that fun stuff. So maybe some more StarCraft stuff that I'm used to. So maybe like Phoenix coming out, or even Narud, Duran, those guys would be pretty cool. But other than that, dude, I'm gonna keep watching as they keep coming and keep studying them up, because I love them all, man. They're all great in terms of like the background and history.
Yeah, totally valid.
So totally like, PR like nerd answer, but like it's true. Like
Yeah.
like what it comes down to is like I didn't know half of these heroes coming in to like the position that I'm at, and like now finally getting to like know them all, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I missed out on all that stuff in my childhood. I played way too much other video games. What was I doing? Like the idea is where it's at. So I don't know. That's where I'm at.
Awesome.
Well, we have more questions, but I think our time's probably up. But maybe we can get them to answer them on Twitter or something.
I want to ask this last one just to clarify, because I'm curious too.
Okay.
I want to confirm all of the classes. We talked about Thrall is a melee assassin, and Jaina is a ranged, no, not support, assassin who could be played as support. Do we know how they're classifying Lost Vikings? Is that specialist?
Just specialist. I think they're like melee specialists, but that doesn't like fit them all. It's just specialist for now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then do we know about Sylvanas?
No, I don't think anything was put out on her that I know of.
Do you have a guess from what you've seen, JC? This is totally unofficial Blizzard. This is just JC's guess.
It's me guessing. I would guess that she's going to be a ranged assassin. I don't think she's going to be a specialist, which I think would be the...
Oh, yeah, Cloakin.
She's going to be ranged. What?
KJ.
Says you're
Oh,
wrong.
she is
says
going
you're
to be
a specialist.
specialist.
Cloakin officially
Ah!
says she's a specialist.
Boom.
That's
It's Cloakin.
awesome.
There you go.
Nice work.
Cloakin, you're
That's,
totally modded. Welcome to the chat.
Ooh. Thank you. That's going to be awesome, because I think she will be a good, like, mix of specialist assassin from what we've seen from her abilities, which I think will be really, really cool. I want to see the specialist in more and being used more and being like viable more and like competitive play. And
Well,
so
if
I
we
think
put-
that's gonna be really cool.
Every new hero that comes out, we'll just label as specialist, so they have to get played a lot. Like, eventually, you can't run. It's gonna
That
happen.
also works as well. Awesome. Well, good
Cool.
deal.
Yeah, thank you for all the
So-
great questions, guys. You really are an integral part of our show, and we really appreciate it. And if you have questions throughout the week or any feedback on the show, things you'd like us to cover next week, or ways you'd like us to go about things, please use that hashtag, and we'll keep checking it. And you can also, of course, @ us on Twitter. So now, before we close things off, we do have our community spotlight to do, and we have a fantastic community representative here in DunkTrain, and he plays for Team Liquid. Team
Yep.
Liquid is one of the emergent first pro teams that we've seen, and if you missed the beginning of the show, they did just compete at BlizzCon. So, DunkTrain, where can we follow and learn more and watch Team Liquid?
You can follow and learn more and watch Team Liquid on our Twitch streams. Actually, Seth and I both run very active Twitch streams. The other players as well will be starting to Twitch stream soon. And you can find us all on our twitch.tv/LiquidSheth for Sheth and Liquid DunkTrain for me. But I think you can also go and find our teams, if I'm not wrong. And you can find eventually Biceps, Pythix, and Caffeine will also start there. So, you know, if you want to see the Hook God himself at some point, he'll be streaming for you guys. So definitely check us out. We try to stream. Sheth usually streams in the daytime, like earlier in the day, and I typically cover the night shift type deal. So a lot of times you'll be able to find one of us on to stream.
Yeah, I see here, I'm at Liquid DunkTrain on Twitch, and it looks like we can just click here on your Team Liquid, and it'll show us all of the Team Liquid streamers. So guys,
Yep.
do check that out and give them your support. We have to, you know, they're the ones who go into the fray and help us develop the best meta and strats because they get to play all day, the lucky jerks. So
Yep, basically. It's a tough life, but someone's got to live it, you know?
I know, right? Seriously.
Thank you for your contributions to the community, DunkTrain.
I really appreciate that, Tim. It means a lot to me.
I also did want to give a quick shout out as we were going through kind of what happened at BlizzCon. Shamtu, who was our guest last week, was my co-host on stage. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to him. Remember that you can also watch his show, Town Hall Heroes, which covers a lot of community stuff as well, lots of discussion, lots of friendly faces. So be sure to check him out as well.
Yeah.
Shammy.
Shammy.
My boss, actually, just quick story. My boss interviewed him, and he walks up and goes, "Hey, Shampoo," and just like immediately starts a conversation. I love Shampoo. He like totally took it like completely lighthearted, but it was amazing to see that reaction.
Shampoo.
Oh gosh, I love Shammy, dude. He's a great guy.
All right, well,
Well,
guys, I guess
I
that...
think-
Go ahead.
You go. You do it.
Well, that kind of wraps everything we had planned to talk about today. Before we do any, I do want to hear from you where people can follow you, how they can support you, what's coming up next for you. But before that, anything that you want the community to know about, any last messages, any last thoughts that we didn't cover during the show? No, we covered everything.
I think I have one last thought, actually.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Gosh, was not expecting that. Ow, ears.
Too loud, Tim?
It wasn't too
Can't be
loud
too
for
loud.
me.
It just got me hyped. Like I can't sleep the next 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like
You're not gonna be able to
appreciate
go to
it,
bed
dude.
now. You just have
Time
to
for
be
video
hyped.
games.
I'll
That's
play
right.
I'll play some heroes with you, Tim. I'll carry you. Don't
So-
worry.
I'll get home. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, where can people follow you and find out more about you? And you have anything cool coming up that they should be watching for? Start with you, DunkTrain.
Okay, so we did just go over where you can follow us on Twitch, but you can also catch us on Twitter. Obviously, you can find me on Twitter at LiquidDunkTrain. Big shout out to my teammates. We put so much time in together. Really happy to be with all those guys. Shout outs as well to my sponsors for allowing me to do this. Shout out to Team Liquid, Twitch, HyperX, Need for Seat, Shiny Things, and Razer. Because those guys are legendary. Definitely check them out. They've been so good to me and the rest of the team, and I'm just really happy that I've had these opportunities to play on the BlizzCon stage again. It's just so fantastic, and thanks to the community, everyone who came out and said hi, shook my hand. I had somebody bring a train whistle of their own, and like that's the kind of stuff that I think everyone who I know Gillyweed, Anna, Tim, like that's the stuff that we love. That we love interacting with people who are like legitimately excited to play Heroes and spend time with and stuff. And like that was just the biggest takeaway for me, was how cool meeting people was. So much love to you guys.
Aw.
That's my spiel. I have nothing else. I'm done.
What about you, Trikslyr?
I can't follow that, man. I'm gonna cry, dude. My left eye. Jeez. No, again, just to echo his thoughts, like the community for Heroes of the Storm is fantastic. Like, I'm glad to kind of be a part of it. Like as a player, like it's great that you guys do shows like this, and it's fun to watch them like every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like there's Town Hall, you got Misscliks, you got other shows as well that I tune into all the time. So like as a player, like thank you guys so much for doing that stuff. And then of course the Twitch chat, man. Like you guys streamers are starting to grow a little bit when it comes to Heroes of the Storm, because we're slowly getting towards closed beta, and like the people that like are surrounding this game are just absolutely the best. Like they are so fun to hang out with. I got the chance to actually like hang out with a lot of them at BlizzCon. I actually had people come up to me and like ask me to sign Illidan WoW cards, and I'm like, guys, I can't sign this. That art is too amazing. Like I'm literally gonna destroy this. But again, like overall, you guys everyone there was just fantastic, and I wish I had more time. In fact, I'm kind of like hoping to make BlizzCon go 3 days from now on, so we could have more time, because like everything was so fast and such a blur that I just can't wait for next year. But again, thank you for allowing me to come on the show. It's great to talk with you guys about these games. It's great to hear your feedback, of course, live as well. So with that being said, you guys are the best, and I can't wait. Make sure to be around for the next BlizzCon Brawl, or not BlizzCon, Brawl with the Blues. I think we're going to have one of those in the next couple of weeks, so we'll get some more people on there, and hopefully we'll have some players that will want to come out and play video games. So thank you.
I like to play video games. I think some of our viewers like to play video games too.
All right, cool. Sweet. We'll get some people on there for some video games.
All right, well, thanks, guys, for watching. I'm Gillyweed. If you want to follow me, I stream Heroes 5 days a week. I won't be streaming tomorrow or Friday because I'm flying to Peru, but normally I stream Heroes 5 days a week, starting to go kind of on a two times a day basis as well. I'm really feeling the Heroes of the Storm. So Gillyweed SC2 on all the things, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you.
So much love on this episode.
I know.
If you guys want to follow along with me, as you can see, my Twitter is @AnnaProsser, and pretty much everywhere else, including Twitch, Instagram, all Facebook, it's all AnnaProsser except for YouTube, which is AnnaProsser TV. I'm also streaming every day now. I've made a commitment that I'm streaming every day, but that doesn't mean that I'm on my channel every day, because unfortunately I work full-time for Good Game Agency. Not unfortunately, fortunately, I work for Good Game Agency, which owns Evil Geniuses and Alliance. So most of my day-to-day work is on their YouTube channels. I do video production for them. So you can check that out, but in my very little time after that, I'm either here on Misscliks or on my own channel or on some other show. So just follow my Twitter. I'll tell you where I'm going to be streaming for at least an hour or so each day, and hopefully in the future playing more Heroes of the Storm. My plan, because my husband is gone, is to have a marathon stream this weekend. So if you guys can help me stay hyped for that, please do, and I will hopefully be streaming. But want to give one last final shout out as well to Misscliks. We are on the Misscliks network right now. Misscliks is in the midst of a revamp. The website should be getting an overhaul, and you may have noticed we have our new assets up on Twitter, our new logo, our refreshed logo, and everything like that. We have a merch shop coming out where you can order shirts to support Misscliks and the Misscliks mission. So thank you to all of you who have supported, followed, subscribed, all of that. And if you like what we're doing here, please do take the time to click that follow button or that subscribe button. It means a lot to us, and it helps us kind of do everything we can to make the scene a more heartful and positive place. So thank you to you guys. You really do make this possible. You've helped us hone this show so much, and we can't tell you how amazing it was to meet so many of you at BlizzCon, telling us what you thought of the show and things like that. We just appreciate it a million times over. And before I get all choked up again, we should probably go ahead and close the show. So thanks very much to our guests. Thanks to our audience. We will see you again next week on Thursday at 7:15 p.m. PDT on this channel. See you then.
Bye, guys. Thank you.